What I'm going to do with my butter is I'm going to cream it on about medium, medium high, and then until it's like... Welcome to this Friar Bakes Basics. Today we are making a basic chocolate cake. And I don't think I have enough ingredients in front of me. So this cake recipe is very easy. All you have to do is take all of this, basically, and throw it in a bowl, and then you're done.
Question, before you mix anything
Yes.
Compose yourself. Isn't that what you do with any chocolate cake?
So you basically do for any chocolate cake, but there's different types of chocolate cake. There is the creaming method where you have to beat butter and sugar for a good amount of time. And then there's the fancier stuff like chocolate chiffons and chocolate sponges. But this is a more easy one where you just take all these ingredients. You don't have to worry about creaming method or anything like that or a technique. You just throw it in, basically. So hopefully you can do it at home. Yes, Ross. Basically. How many times can I say basically today? So first we're going to start off with this hot water that I have here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some instant coffee to my hot water. And then I'm also going to melt in some bittersweet chocolate chips also. And basically what's going to happen here is the chocolate's going to melt, but coffee and hot water helps bloom the cocoa flavor and makes it more powerful, giving you a more exciting chocolate experience. Now, we are going to get our dry ingredients together. So for me, I need bowls with high sides because I'm clumsy. All right, and then so I'm going to go and sift my flour. So I want to sift my flour over here because what happens is flour naturally forms these clumps, right? And when you're trying to mix things together, those clumps don't incorporate. So sometimes in your batter, when you're eating your cupcake, you get a clump of flour. So you want to make sure it's as fine like this so that it will go ahead and incorporate well. We're going to sift our cocoa powder also because you don't want clumps of cocoa powder in your cake. All right, now for our sugar. You don't necessarily need to sift your sugar, but our sugar comes in clumps sometimes, so I'm gonna sift it. Now we are going to add our salt, soda, and powder. We're gonna whisk everything together. Okay, now looking at this mixture, you're going to see that there aren't any clumps of white, there aren't any clumps of brown. It looks all evenly distributed.
Uniformly distributed.
Uniformly distributed.
Basically mixed together.
Basic. So right now I'm using the whisk to fully melt the chocolate. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and mix this together. And right now you should be smelling lots and lots of chocolate. And I'm feeling a forearm workout right now, so I guess I could skip the gym tomorrow. Yay! Now again, with this one, you wanted to make sure everything is, what was our phrase again, Ross?
Uniformly distributed.
Uniformly distributed. All right, now we're gonna combine oil. Oil is a fat, and fats keep cakes moist. We love moist cakes. And I want you to use a neutral flavored oil. What that is basically a canola oil or vegetable oil. If you use a olive oil, cake is gonna taste like olive oil, which is fine, but I mean, that's what you want. Now we're going to add buttermilk. If you have buttermilk, great. If you don't, just take some whole milk and add some vinegar to it. I have soda, quite a bit of baking soda in here, and the soda needs an acid to activate. There's acid inside cocoa, but you need additional acid to help give it more of a lift. Ooh, clumping.
So the clumping is okay?
The clumping is fine. The clumping was caused because of acid was introduced there, and so it starts to, what's the word?
Homogenize.
No, curdle. Yeah, so acid introduced into dairy causes it to curdle, forming clumps. All right, and now we're gonna introduce our vanilla extract. And then we're gonna go ahead and introduce our eggs. I like to whisk my eggs in a separate bowl or separate vessel beforehand before I introduce it into here, because sometimes it's hard to break up the eggs in a bowl, so I just like to do it beforehand easily here.
Did brother Andrew ever get eggshells in his eggs?
Absolutely. For getting out an eggshell in your eggs, use the eggshell actually to help you do that. The sharp edges here breaks the surface area of it to help you scoop it. Boop. Let's take our whisk. I don't like dirtying too many things, so I'm just gonna use this chocolate whisk. And we're just gonna break it up a little bit in here. All right, I'm gonna introduce my eggs into my oil, milk, and vanilla mixture. Just throw it all in. Just throw it together. Uniformly distributed, basically. How many catchphrases can we come up with this episode? No, I'm just gonna throw it all in. I'm just gonna throw it all in there. Just gonna do it. Just gonna throw it all in there. Now, just gently incorporate, because it's doing all this stuff. Beautiful, no clumps. Very, very watery. Now we are going to line our pans with parchment paper and nonstick spray. What I do is I take one of my pans and I go ahead and draw a circle around it and then just cut, 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 cut. If you're doing multiple pans like this, what I like to do is I like to fold my parchment paper. That way I can kill, how many of this? 4 birds with 1 stone. Spray, line, spray, and also spray the edges as well too, okay? And today, we are using these cute little 6-inchers. Beep, beep. Traditionally, I use this recipe for 3 9-inch pans. So I'm gonna go ahead and evenly distribute this. I'm actually gonna use a scale. We are gonna put this in the oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit until they are done. We are gonna check it at around 25 minutes, all right? And I will tell you what visual cues to look for. Oh. Now we are going to do our frosting. I normally love a Swiss meringue buttercream. That's too fancy. So for basics, we are doing your good old style, all American buttercream. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my butter. This is about 2 sticks of butter right here, and make sure your butter is room temperature. I'm not letting it win. Hashtag stubborn. Yeah. Now I'm going to cream my butter at medium, medium-high until it's light and fluffy and well mixed together. Okay, so now do you see this butter? It's all well incorporated, it's shiny, it's gorgeous. Great, and so we're gonna go ahead and introduce our other ingredients in here. Now we are going to introduce our powdered sugar. We're going to sift our powdered sugar because again, clumps is bad, and you see there's a lot of clumps in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and sift it into here. Some people like to introduce the powdered sugar little by little. I just like to throw it all in there. Again, that's our thing, throw it all in there. Throw it all in there. Now 2 things, tall sides and low speed. So be careful, y'all. Let's just go ahead and do these in bursts because that's fast. Okay, let's go ahead, turn it on. Let's go ahead and give it a quick stir just to make sure you get all that powdered sugar incorporated because we want everything uniformly distributed. Yay! So now I'm going to add in our flavoring, which is vanilla. Lots of vanilla, love vanilla. All right, now I have 2 things over here. One is heavy cream and one is vinegar. So the heavy creams can help thin out our frosting, making it more easily spreadable. And then the vinegar is to hopefully offset the sweetness. So add to taste. I'm going to add a touch of vinegar. Just a touch, oh, touch. I'm gonna beat it about medium, medium-high for a good amount of time. Now we wanna make sure that it's easily spreadable, and you see how there's like holes right there? Those are air pockets, indicating that's a pretty light frosting, which is good. Grainy. Oh, the vinegar did help. I'm gonna add a little bit more vanilla to taste. All right, and I'm also tasting a bit of graininess in there too. That's from the powdered sugar. I'm gonna add a little bit more cream. Hopefully that'll help offset it.
Is it a taste or a feel?
It's a feeling of little pieces of sand in your mouth. I'm gonna try this one more time. All right, so we are checking our cakes. Oh, gorgeous. All right. So do you see that there's this jiggle going on right here? That means it's not done. Let's put it back in there. These are our cakes. Hi, cakes. Hi, hi, hi. They're a slight doming right now, but don't worry. As they start to cool, they'll flatten out. As you can see, they're pulling away from the edges. That means it's done as well too. We have a nice dry top, a good dome, so we're all set. Great, so now our cakes are cooled and we're going to assemble. I'm going to show you an easy way of assembling a 3-tiered layer cake for your next birthday celebration. Super easy, hopefully. The best thing you could do is to refrigerate your cake layers, and that helps with assembly. It makes it much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and unmold these. Okay, make sure to remove the parchment paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one layer here. Hi, layer. I'm going to go ahead and take a spoonful of frosting. Again, this is very smooth, it's very airy. And what I do is I use the tip of this spoon to go ahead and push it out. The other benefit for using cold cake is that the crumbs don't always get everywhere. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to frost each one. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the frosting is sticking out from the sides. This is the rustic look. And all I'm going to do is stack it. Stack, stack, beep, beep, boop. Don't fall over. I'm going to go ahead and put some sprinkles on here because it's festive. I don't really like sprinkles, but other brothers like them. Oh, wow, it does look festive. Here it is, your basic chocolate cake with vanilla buttercream frosting. You would actually put this in the refrigerator to firm it up so that it'll have beautiful clean slices when you eat it. Thank you for joining this Friar Bakes, where we're basically baking a basic chocolate cake with basic vanilla buttercream frosting. Enjoy. Basically.